Hello fellow simmers, it's Samuel Beeman of BLS here, and today we've got a very special video for you. So currently I'm in TS Classic, and we are on the Stour Valley Railway network route made by Philip Baker. So this is a route that has been featured on the channel before in an early beta stage, but this is version 0.5 beta, which he's kindly sent us as an exclusive look because this isn't actually released yet. So this version of the beta isn't currently released. So we're going to be exploring it. So this scenario that he's made up is the Haverhill to Chapple via Halstead. And basically, for those of you who don't know, that is the section of line that me and Jordan walked on in our British Locomotive Studios Rediscovering Lost Lines vlog of Haverhill along the Colne Valley section. And if you guys haven't yet seen that, I will link the video in the description of this video for you guys to go and have a look and see how it looks in real life currently, because obviously there is not a lot left. This is a route that was axed by the beaching cuts in 1967. It is no longer around, and all that's left is remains and reminiscences of what was. And this is a route that is very close to my heart because it is my local railway line, or what was my local railway line. And this route is kind of bringing back history. It's very ghostly. You kind of like fly around and you just know that this isn't here anymore, and you know that all that's left is just remains. So it's something quite ghostly about it. Anyway, so currently we are standing at Haverhill Station. We're going to have a little look round to see what has changed around Haverhill. So we did have a little brief look round before, but as you can see, now we have new signs implemented. One thing I will say about these signs is that they are incredibly bright. Texturing could be slightly a little bit better on these, and obviously the actual Haverhill lettering itself doesn't match the white of the totem. So it's okay. It's not too bad, but you know. It is all a work in progress. So just remember, guys, this is a work in progress route. It is not by any means finished yet. So yeah, so this is Haverhill. We've also got this new sign as well, Haverhill change for the Colne Valley line. This is quite an iconic sign, and I'm really glad that he has implemented this. So the route itself is based sort of in the early 60s. So it's sort of based along the time period that the steam locomotives were phasing out, and then obviously the diesel locomotives started to emerge. So like class 15s, class 31s, the multiple units such as the class 105, etc. And yeah, so it's just looking at this, it just always takes my breath away. I love this because I'm wandering around my local station. This is what it looked like. It is bizarre. It is surreal to see it. It really is. And yeah, it just looks magnificent. It really does. Like honestly, you can see the classic Great Eastern of Origin brickwork, and I must say he's updated the texturing on this. It was a lot more brighter before, and now it's kind of a lot more. It's nicely done. The texturing on this is a lot better than what it was. So well done, Philip, on that. Another thing I have noticed around Haverhill, which he has done, is he has changed out these houses, because obviously the original houses that he used were not the right kind of style, and these are obviously a lot better and a lot more realistic to what they are today. And obviously these houses would have been here for so many years. Even today, these houses would have been there. These were the old railway staffing houses, so a lot of the staff that used to work on the station would house here, and it's great to see that in here. It would be nice to see some like gardens and stuff on here in the future, but obviously that's something that he hasn't yet done. And obviously you've got the classic bridge there, which is looking great. One thing I have noticed though is I do actually have a few floaty fences here and there, so I'm wondering if I am actually missing some embankment assets. Not quite sure on that, so if you do see any floaty fences or floaty stuff, I don't know. It's either I'm missing something or it is still a work in progress, because that's what it is. It is all still a work in progress. Anyway, without further ado, I think we should unpause our game and venture on our journey down to Chapple and Wakes Colne. So obviously, as you guys know, this is the Great Eastern Main Line Stour Valley Railway network, but it also includes the Colne Valley branch, and it will be including the Saffron Walden branch as well. So you get an entire route network with this, and there's plenty of scenario potential. It is a lovely looking route, and he's done such a smashing job on it so far. If anyone is interested in giving the beta a go, I will also link the route in the description of the video, so you can go and download it and see what it looks like so far. Because that's one thing that is interesting about this, is Philip is releasing it in its beta stages. So you guys can play it in its work in progress stages. He's not just releasing the finished product, as it were. So you get to see how much he progresses, and that's quite a good way of doing it, to be honest. I quite admire him for that. Anyhow, let's get ourselves set up. So let's put ourselves into forward gear. Our brake shall need to be released. Set our gears to 1. Oh, wait a second. Must open the doors first. Just let our passengers aboard. Mustn't forget that. So obviously this Class 105 is using the Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack, which is sadly no longer available, which is a shame. Hey ho. Right, we've got the road, so I am going to try and use the F5 HUD as much as possible, guys, but if I do end up using the F3 or F4 HUD, don't shoot me. It's just because, you know, I've only driven this route a few times, and obviously it's all still quite new. I mean, just look at the detail around here, though. Look, we've got all the signals, we've got the signal rigging and everything like that. It just looks absolutely fantastic. It really does. It's making history come alive just by playing this. It's ghostly, it's surreal, it's brilliant. I love it. I honestly love it. And I always get excited when playing a new version of this route, because I want to see it progress. I want to see, you know, how it's going to be when it's finished. It's just going to be fantastic. It really is. So Haverhill railway station is no longer there. There is no remnants at all. All it is now is a Tesco superstore, which is a shame. We are now branching off towards the Colne Valley railway section. So we're going to be passing over the famous Stour arches in a moment. I can see it coming up now. So we're going to take a little look at that as we pass over it. And there it is. It is a custom asset as well. Look at that. Doesn't that look fantastic? Another thing I have noticed as well is he has actually added appropriate traffic now. Originally they were like modern cars that he had on the roads, but he's obviously swapped them out for like 1950s traffic, which is great to see, because obviously it's obviously more accurate to the period that this route's based on. So we're just passing over Colne Valley Junction there. So the junction that branched off behind us would have headed towards the Haverhill South railway station. So Haverhill had 2 railway stations. All of this is explained and can be seen in our Rediscovering Lost Railways vlogs. So we're now passing through a cutting here. This has been filled in real life now. So sadly you cannot see this. It's all fields now, and there is nothing left remaining. So we are soon going to be approaching Brook. Now you'd probably recognise some of this. So this bridge coming up here, the sides of the bridge existed for a little while, like the remains of the sides. So this was all filled in, but the tops of the bridge could still be visible. Unfortunately, those tops have now been demolished and replaced by a wooden fence. Which is typical, really, isn't it? Some of these cuttings here are still remaining today. You'll probably see that there is actually a shot of Jordan running down into the cutting just after that bridge section. So we will soon be coming up to Brook station. So we are going to start slowing the train down soon, so we can make sure that we get there. So on the right hand side now we are approaching New England, which there is a pub down there. I think it's called the Colne Valley Arms. As you can see, the buildings have started to be placed down there. We should be heading over a brick bridge right now, which we are indeed. A very tall brick bridge, which is sadly no longer there in real life. I mean, just look at the scenery, you know, you can really see that it is really starting to come to be. So here we are now approaching Brook station, which is featured in the vlog if you want to see what it looks like today. All that remains of it is the concrete platform, as well as, actually to be fair, there's quite a lot of remains. So you've got the concrete platform which is still there, the goods shed is still there, and the base of the signal box is actually still there. So we get a good look round it in a moment. The bridge abutments for this bridge is still here in real life. I mean, just look at this. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And here we are at Brook station, which just looks absolutely stunning. Now, for those of you who have seen the vlog, you'll probably recognise this position right here. Oh, it's just... this is spot on. This is absolutely spot on. So, obviously, in real life, all we can really see is this platform, and I can tell you this now, that texturing is absolutely spot on. That is exactly what the concrete platform looks like. That is marvellous, and you can really tell that he's used our videos and taken into account what there is, and had a look at the remains and rebuilt them and recreated them the best he can and the best of his abilities. And you can really see, like, it just does look spectacular. I say it just it blows my mind. It really does. It's just it's resurrecting something. It's something ghostly about it, and I just absolutely love it. Just absolutely love it. It's fantastic. We've even got the goods shed here, so this is still here in real life. This looks lovely. This is probably the only thing that's still fully intact in real life in the station site of Brook. It's the goods shed. It's now used for farming. So, yeah, it's now sort of private property around here. I do actually have some milk bottles alongside the track here, so I don't know what that's for. It's probably for some, like, fencing or something. But yeah, here we have the signal box, which looks accurate to all the photos I've seen of it. Obviously, you can't see it in real life anymore. but the base, the concrete base that this signal is sat on, you can still see, and it is still visible from around about down here where me and Jordan were walking. It just looks, it looks stunning. It really does. Very, very impressed. So yeah, so that is Brook Station, ladies and gents. So now it is onwards towards Whitley Bridge, and we called it Whiteley in the vlog when actually it's not Whiteley, it's called Whitley. Hey ho. So this cutting coming up now, we walked through, and you'll be able to see it in the vlog. And yeah, he's captured with perfection, man. It really is. It really looks very nice because he's very built up here on our way into Brook. It's very, very tall cuttings, and you can see he's definitely represented that well. And here we come up to Whitley Bridge, or Whiteley as we called it. So we are going to have a brief look at Whiteley Bridge, or Whitley Bridge. And there it is. So why is it called Whitley? Well, because years ago, in the 1800s, a station was here called Whitley Halt. And basically it was demolished. It was only there temporarily while Brook Station was being constructed. And once Brook Station had finished construction, the station was demolished. But yeah, there is the bridge there in all of its glory, custom made. So one thing Philip did say is he's basically custom built pretty much everything on this. All the station buildings, bridges, etc. because there's nothing else like it in TS that we've ever had. Which is brilliant really, because everybody loves a custom asset, and you know, it just shows the amount of detail and the amount of work that he's putting into this route. You know, and making steam era routes, it's not easy. It really isn't easy, because you've got to do the research, you know, you've got to... it's a very, very difficult operation. So we're now on a downhill gradient, heading towards Yeldom. So as you can see, it's a fair way to Yeldom from Whitley. So had me and Jordan continued our walk down towards Yeldom, it would have taken us some time to get there. So obviously whistle boards, etc. will come later on. As you can see, there is a couple of foot crossings back there which probably would have had whistle boards. So I'm just tooting them as and when, really. So obviously, as you know guys, complete work in progress. It's not by all means finished at all. There is still a lot of scenery work to do, especially in the distance and towns and stuff like that. The next version he's working on, he has told me that he's going to be working on the Saffron Walden branch, and he's going to be adding some more detail to some of the towns and villages along the route as well. So we are approaching Yeldom now. We've got to be careful at Yeldom because it actually wrong roads us. So at the moment the markers aren't fully set up in Yeldom, so for a short period of time the game will take us down the wrong track and then it will cross us over into the right platform, which shouldn't happen, but as the markers haven't been set up properly yet, that is obviously the way it is. So we got the distance signal into the station. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments what you think of this amazing route, because you know, I'll be really interested to hear your comments, and I'm sure Philip will as well. And anything you do have, any questions or queries, we will pass it on to him for him to answer for you. So here we are approaching Yeldom, or Great Yeldom. So as you can see here, usually we would cross over into the right lane there, but we are in the left-hand lane when we shouldn't be. I am going to slow over because we are going over the crossover, so we're going to slow down as we go over this. It's very tight. Here we are approaching Yeldom station. We do for some reason have a floating sign on the platform for some reason. I don't know what that's there for, but hey ho, it's there. And here we are at Great Yeldom, which again, a lovely, well-built station. Completely custom and looks accurate to the photographs that I've seen of it. We've even got like the waiting room shelter here. Well, it's not even a waiting room, it's like a little bus shelter almost to shield people from the rain. But yeah, we seem to have a random sign here for no apparent reason. I don't know what that's all about, but hey ho, it's just there. So if you visit the site today of Great Yeldom, the two platforms are actually still there and you can still see them. They are visible. There is also, I think these buffers are actually still there because I believe this track is supposed to come up to about here. I don't think that's finished properly yet, but I believe that's supposed to come up to about here, and I think the buffers are still there. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong, but I think they are still there and buried into the ground. Again, you know, that is something that perhaps in the future sometime I could go and revisit and have a look around the area and see if there are many remains still around of Yeldom. But, what's interesting is, yeah, so the signal box is here, and obviously the signal is here. There is actually a hole in here, or should be a hole in here, where the rodding comes out of, and it is still there in real life. So, as I say, I'm going to go and take some photographs or have a little look round Yeldom at some point for Philip and give him a couple of references for this platform especially, just so so he can, you know, have a little look and see what he can come up with. Obviously I know that he's been looking at old archive footage and photos of the line as well, so you know, he's got plenty of stuff. He's got plenty of stuff to build this. And that is why it looks so brilliant and like lifelike to what it was back in the day. But yeah, it's just grand, it really is. These crossings as well are custom built by himself. The crossing gates, etc., the concrete posts, sort of that Great Eastern feel to it. It is absolutely breathtaking, the amount of detail that he's been putting into this. Again, custom signal boxes. His texturing has really come on as well, because I know that when he first started building custom assets on the very early beta, a lot of the assets were very bright and the bake was different. But now he's really starting to come on with his texturing now. You can really tell that that he is improving as he goes along, and it's lovely to see. Anyhow, moving on from Yeldom, the next station shall be Headingham, which is... Now this is going to be really interesting because a lot of you will know that some of this section is now preserved in real life. So it's now preserved as the Colne Valley Railway, or Colne Valley Railway Museum as I like to call it, because it's basically a museum. It's not a proper railway. It's only like a mile of running line with a load of, you know, exhibits, and I believe Headingham and Halstead station have been moved from their original locations from where they were in the 60s to that area, because there was never a station at where the Colne Valley Railway is based at the moment. It was just track and fields, and we will go past it on our way down. Rightio, so let's get ourselves underway. It's incredibly tight around there, isn't it? It's one thing I would say, perhaps some of the loops and bits and pieces could use with like smoothing out slightly in some places. So I do have a couple of milk bottles here and there, guys. I don't know what they are or what I'm missing. Again, you know, it's something for Philip to tell me and look into, because I honestly have no clue. Might be worth running this through RW Tools, to be fair, to try and find out some of the missing pieces. So here we are travelling under another custom bridge. You can see the smuts there. We've got a whistle board there which looks custom as well. Actually, let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's quite nice. That's not too bad. And the bridge there, yeah, I love the smuts. You know, where you can see the steam locos have gone underneath it. That's brilliant. Love it. So you can see the scenery is really starting to show round here as well. Right, so now that we're turning here, we should be a whistle board there. We should be heading up to a bridge soon, which basically is a bridge over the main road. Now the road isn't there currently, but I imagine you probably add the road in later on. But you'll see it now. Yeah, we're coming up to the bridge here. Okay, so here is the bridge over the main road down towards Braintree. So as we turn round here, we are currently entering the site of where the Colne Valley Railway preserved railway section is today. So we are travelling along it as we speak right now. And as you can see, there is absolutely nothing here. There was never a station or anything here. Never a museum, nothing. Just fields. And as you can see, the cutting here, that would be Nunnery Junction, and the run round where the trains run round today. Bit of a gradient up and over this bridge, but there should be a road under there as well. As I say, he hasn't yet done the roads here, so it's obviously something that he'll do in the future. So I am going to start slowing up because we are approaching Headingham quite dramatically. We've got the green. now we are heading into Headingham Station, or Chapple and Castle Headingham as it's called. I say it really is a stunning route. I'm just gobsmacked by the amount of detail that's on it. It's going to be fantastic, it really is. Okay, Headingham Station, here we are. So, now, a lot of you would recognise this building. This is the Colne Valley Railway station building. This is the main building of their station. It was moved brick by brick to the site that is today. And yeah, and it's really, really interesting and rather bizarre to see it in Train Sim. This is the first time I've ever seen it in TS. It's fantastic, it really is. It's done a grand job of this. We've got all the station signs present and correct. It would be nice to have some like nicer texturing on some of the like lamps and things, but I'm sure that's something that he'll look into in the future. It is all work in progress. Things will be altered and changed as it goes on. Look at that. Very cool. Proper Great Eastern signage. Looks like a custom signal as well. A new signal. Interesting. Right, so this is Headingham, and yeah, it looks great. Also, I like the use of telegraph poles alongside the line, I must mention. These go all the way along the line, which is great, and they actually have the cables, look. All the wires and cables all connecting, which again just adds to the detail. Even, you know, up there, look, hits to the signal box. Look at the amount of track there is, you know. A lot of these stations, you know, even though they're quite small, quirky things, the interesting thing is they had big yards. Like, you know, just look at this. You know, look at this complicated track work. Brilliant. History has come alive with this route, I tell you. And I know I keep saying that, but it is the truth of the matter. So our next station stop shall be Halstead. bridge. So one of the things that Philip did state about this route is he's mostly going to focus on detailing the line side stuff. So a lot of the detail will be from what you can see in the cab. Because of the scale of the route and how massive it really is, he doesn't want to go too overboard on the means of detailing because it is a massive network. And I can understand that. So he's not going to go too overboard with detailing of towns and stuff like that, which is fair enough. Very interesting to see this because obviously I've never walked this section. I've never been down this section before, so it's interesting to see it, to see what it was like. Again, it is another section that one day maybe I will walk it, you know, it's all potential. Is that a red? No, it's distant. The yellow on the distant. So that means we've got to be careful on our approach. Yes, very nice use of terraced houses there. Got a billboard there as well. I've just seen pass by. These factories on the left hand side look really smart. It just looks nice coming in here, it really does. Okay, Halstead. Hello, Halstead. Look at that. Again, you know, texturing on the signs perhaps could be better. They are quite bright again, but, you know, I'm not going to complain too much because at the end of the day, custom assets, man, you know, everybody loves them. You can't, you know, making custom assets for TS isn't a walk in the park. And we of all people know that. It really isn't. But yeah, it is great to see regardless. It really is. I believe this is the station over the opposite platform on the preserved Colne Valley Railway. So this is the Halstead station building. Which again is it's brilliant to see it in game. So this would be the sort of main sort of museum area of the Colne Valley Railway the preserved line of today. I'm not sure whether this is exact because it looks slightly different, especially in this game compared to the real life one. So I believe Headingham is completely accurate to the real station building, but I think Halstead was kind of rebuilt. so it's not necessarily exact. Because you think they've had to move the station all the way from here, all the way down to that site that we passed earlier. So it's a fair way to go. But yeah, you can see that he started to develop the town of Halstead as well. This is a really quite nice shot, to be honest with you, where you can see like the shops from the station. I really quite like that. And this is the W.H. Smith building, which is still a work in progress. He said that that this is still a WIP, so it hasn't been textured properly yet. As you can see, it's just like a basic shape and texture at the moment, but that will be implemented over time. We've got the crossings here. I believe these are the Bath Templecombe crossing. This isn't like a custom one. This looks like the Kuju, the standard Kuju one. We've got the station signal box here, looking very nice indeed. And we've got some nice housing here as well, which I believe these are a part of the UKTS freeware pack housing pack. I think that's what they're a part of. Either that or they're new reskins. Not too sure. But yeah, and we've got the industrial here, which is again I think is a part of the UKTS freeware pack industrial. Again, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It's nice to see that we've got proper traffic. As I say, 1960s, 1950s vehicles. Which adds to it, makes stuff look nice. That's good to see. But yeah, so that is Halstead. That is Halstead, and you can see we've started to have a build up of towns and houses, sort of town buildings and houses, which is great to see. I look forward to seeing this when it's fully built and built up. We've also got this goods shed here, which I think this is actually a custom goods shed. I've never seen this before. I've never seen this as part of a route or anything like that. To be honest, it does look like a custom asset by Philip, and again, it's a very nice job, very nice work on that. It does look smart, doesn't it? Anyway, moving on from Halstead, the next station is Earl's Colne. Oh, just look at this bridge over here, though. Look, this footbridge. Wow, that is impressive. Again, it's just another brilliant asset by him. Look at that. That looks grand. Although, was this like a footbridge kit or something? Because it's like, it seems incomplete. Or that doesn't link up there. That's interesting. Maybe it's a footbridge kit. Maybe it's like a work in progress kit. Got a milk bottle down there. So, we're passing over some different gates. These gates look like they're custom made as well. Yep, look at that. These are smaller gates than the usual gates you get in a station. Oh look, they open and close as well. Animated. Scripted to work. Very smart. So there is plenty of detail, plenty of interactive features on this route as well. See Earl's Colne coming up. over the horizon. We're going to start slowing up our train. I would assume that yeah, we do have some milk bottles around here. I don't know what they're for. I'm definitely missing something here. A route or something. Route DLC. I mean, can you imagine if this actually was a proper Colne Valley Railway, like the preserved line actually extended all the way down here? I mean, that would have been grand. Shame it doesn't and never will. And you ask why. So if I'm going to be honest, the reasons why Colne Valley Railway won't extend their line further, number one is they would have to either rebuild a bridge or, well, I mean, they can't even do that. It would have to be a crossing. So they'd have to add a crossing over a really busy road, main road into Braintree, which again probably will never happen because the council and that will never allow a crossing to do that because it will hold up a load of traffic and cause chaos. So they wouldn't. So there's no way that they can really extend down to Yeldom. And then if they were to go towards Headingham, houses have now been built over the line, so can't exactly just demolish them, can you, to get there? Yep, we've got the green. There's obviously approach control there on that signal to stop and wait for it to go clear. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Earl's Colne. And here it is. Earl's Colne. So, this is quite an interesting station in the sense that it almost looks like a house. It's like a... Look, it's unusual windows type, you know, it's bizarre. I think, if I'm correct... I could have sworn I've seen a photo like that before. I think that station building is still there in real life. I could swear I have seen a picture just like that. I think it could be a private house now, a private residence, a bit like what Stour station was. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong. But if anyone knows, mention it in the comments because I'll be really interested to know. But yeah, I think that is still there. I have this feeling. But yeah, I recognise that. Yes, this is Earl's Colne. I don't really know what to say about this station because it's not one that I'm majorly familiar with. But I will say that it is quite interesting. They are all interesting, these Great Eastern stations. They're all very different. You'll notice that they all have their unique features. Like Earl's Colne here has this like canopy here, but then there's like this weird brick block here as well, which perhaps was another room or something. I don't know. A toilet block perhaps. But yeah, it's interesting because they all have they're all very unique. They have their own sort of style, all these different stations. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, back to our train. The next station will be Colne. one of the things I would really love to see in TS is the Derby lightweight diesel multiple units. Now, the Derby lightweights were quite a common source of traction on this line. They were used a lot on commuter services, a bit like the Class 105 that we're driving now. So the 105 and Derby lightweights were the main sort of source of motive power on passenger commuter services from Cambridge. And you'd also get the occasional rail bus which used to run in certain parts, which we will come on to on a later date, because Philip has actually built a custom model of a rail bus, which we will show in the next part of our video series on version 0.5 of the route. So here we are approaching White Colne now, so I'm going to start slowing up because we've approached the distance signal into the station. Very nice. There's some very nice bridges on here. He's done a grand job at custom modelling some of these bridges. This is a very, very nice country station, this one. And there's a unique feature about this station which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, because I have had a brief look at this route before jumping on and recording this. But yeah, there is a very, very nice feature about this station, and I'll show you that now. Whoop. Whoopsie, didn't mean to put it into full brake application there. And there it is, look at that. Look at that. We'll get a closer look at that in a minute as we halt our train into the station. Okay, now just look at this. Now this is, I love this. I absolutely love this. Look, this is the iconic coach body that was on the station. This is like the waiting room, because obviously, and also we got the wagon body as well. So it was almost like they couldn't be bothered to build a station building, or didn't have the money to build a station building. So they've just ended up using a sort of half of an old goods van and half of a coach. So one of these would have been the where you get the tickets, probably the goods van, and then the main waiting room would have been this the coach body, which is a 1930s built coach, if I'm not mistaken, something along those lines, an ex-Great Eastern 1930s built coach, sort of the horse wagon style coaching stock that they used to run, the six-wheelers or four-wheelers, bit like the Southern Railway four-wheeled coaches, similar to those. But yeah, it's fantastic to see it here, and it's custom built as well, and it is lovely. It really is lovely. I mean, to be fair, I think this glass could be used like drawing forward slightly. Perhaps the glass panelling should be like halfway here, like sort of in there, because he's a little bit far back. It probably needs bringing forward slightly, but yeah, it is there, and it looks lovely. The texturing is very, very nicely done on it as well. The bake is nice. It's a really, really nice custom asset. And there is actually one of these on Ashton Holt station on the Saffron Walden branch, and I have a feeling he's going to use that on the Ashton Holt station as well, to recreate the waiting room on that, because that's what they tended to do for some of these smaller stations. You know, they used to kind of use old wagon bodies and coach bodies for it. Anyway, we're going to be moving on now to our last port of call for this video, which is Chapple and Wakes Colne, which is home today to the East Anglian Railway Museum. God, just look at this. Look. But before we go, let's just have a look down here. Look at this. Look at the nice little crossing there. Very nice indeed. You know, we've got this. This is a custom house as well, and that's an old station. That looks like a station house. Station master's house, perhaps. And this little line side hut there, which just again adds to the detail. Well, we do have a bit of a gap under there. I'd imagine that asset is not yet finished. So, yeah, just bear that in mind, Philip. I'm loving his work on some of the grass here as well. Like he's added like 3D grass sort of texture on the embankments, which look very smart as well. And yeah, we've got all the signal sort of cabling alongside the line there. Milk bottles, there they are again. I'm definitely missing stuff. Please tell me what they are. Right. So it's not too far of a journey to Chapple and Waits Colne. We'll be there shortly. Start slowing up because there is a 20-mile-an-hour limit into the station very soon. I believe it is the next bridge after this. As you can see, we are approaching the distant. We're going to come up to a junction just before Chapple, which is again named the same name as the junction at Haverhill, Colne Valley Junction. Yeah, here's that 20 limit. Probably due to this tight curve around here. So the line branching to the left heads towards Sudbury. Obviously we're not going to cover this in that video, cover that in this video. The signal for some reason here won't clear. I don't know why that is. It says signal request, past danger, denied. Again, don't know why that is. For some reason it won't clear and there's nothing I can do. So it's 15 over this tight crossover here. And here we are, heading into Chapple and Waits Colne. Or Chapple, as people call it. And here we are, folks, Chapple and Waits Colne. So a lot of you will know this for the East Anglian Railway Museum, as it is today. So here we have Chapple and Waits Colne junction for Colne Valley line. Now, the interesting thing about this is today that now says Chapple and Waits Colne alight here for East Anglian Railway Museum. So it has been altered since this. But yeah, it's very interesting, and you know, this station is unique in the sense that the staircase kind of goes up in this sort of like upside down V shape, which is rather unique, and obviously none of the other stations have that kind of feature. and it's brilliant to see in game, and it represented well. We also have the sort of the station master's house just outside there, which is in all of its glory, as well as Chapel signal box, which is very nicely represented there as well. Again, this model I think is slightly incomplete because you can see through it, so this will probably get altered and messed about with over time. The goods shed hasn't yet been modelled. Currently it's using the Woodhead AP shed asset, or the AP buildings pack, railway buildings pack. So that hasn't yet been fully custom built yet. So there is still plenty to be done around Chapel. I do have a few, let's say, milk bottles lying around. I don't know what they're for. Again, you know, it's something that could use with looking into. But you know what, I'm going to take a photo of this because that looks very smart. I really do like that. It really does look smart, doesn't it? Look at that. It's just a beautiful sight. It really is. It looks absolutely fantastic. It gives you that feel of an old bygone age, which is no longer around. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much all that is covered within this video. We have covered the entire length of Haverhill to Chapel via Halstead of the Colne Valley branch. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been great. It's been fantastic to do. So yeah, if you want any questions, or if you've got any questions for the route, please comment in the YouTube video, or you can contact us on Facebook or comment on the Facebook post which I've recently placed up. And we'll speak to Philip and answer any questions that are needed. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've certainly really loved this, and I'm really looking forward to the next part of the videos, where we'll go from Marks Tay towards Bury St Edmunds. So, thank you for watching, guys. This has been Samuel Beeman of British Locomotive Studios. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye for now.